Ratan Tata, the man who built dreams on foundations of compassion. In the vast corridors of power, where ambition often overshadows empathy, Ratan Tata's story shines as a beacon of integrity, humility, and compassion. His life is not merely a tale of a business empire or a success story of a man born into wealth. It is a deeply emotional and inspiring journey of a man who saw himself not as a business tycoon, but as a servant of the people, a custodian of values, and a visionary who believed that a great company is built not just on profits, but on purpose. A childhood shaped by pain, yet full of promise. Ratan Tata was born into the illustrious Tata family, but his early life was not as gilded as one might think. His parents separated when he was just 10, and in a world where children of such stature were often shielded from emotional turbulence, young Ratan was anything but sheltered. He and his brother were raised by their grandmother, Lady Navajbai Tata. Though loved deeply by her, the emotional void of an absent father and a broken family weighed heavily on him. Yet, it was in this fractured world that Ratan learned his first life lesson: empathy for those who suffer quietly. The pain of his childhood became the seed from which his compassion would grow. He learned not to pity himself but to understand others. He absorbed the values of kindness, patience, and the quiet strength of perseverance. As he grew older, he carried these qualities with him, silently but resolutely, shaping his unique character. Ratan Tata didn't let his surname dictate his path. He left India to study at Cornell University, far from the luxurious corridors of his family estate. There, he faced challenges alone, away from the cocoon of privilege, learning what it meant to be just another face in the crowd. This period gave him a sense of independence, grounding him with humility and making him more empathetic to the struggles of the common man. The reluctant heir and the weight of expectation. When Ratan returned to India, he joined the Tata Group, not as a CEO but as an apprentice in Tata Steel's gritty Jamshedpur plant. Unlike many heirs who might have jumped straight to the boardroom, Ratan worked shoulder to shoulder with laborers, witnessing the sweat, grime, and struggles of the everyday worker. He saw the heart of Tata Steel in its people, not its profits. This hands-on experience wasn't just a test of his character, it was a choice. It was here that Ratan Tata forged the unbreakable bond between his personal values and his corporate vision. He understood that a company is only as strong as its people and that a leader must understand those he leads, not just from a balance sheet but from their hearts. In 1991, fate brought an immense responsibility upon him when he was named chairman of Tata Sons. He was now the reluctant heir of one of the most powerful business conglomerates in India, but this was no ordinary succession. The Tata Group, under his legendary predecessor J.R.D. Tata, was an empire, but it had become stagnant, with outdated business models and a conservative mindset. The weight of this responsibility was crushing, and the world watched with bated breath, doubting the quiet man's ability to rise to the occasion. The corporate world was brutal, and Ratan faced fierce opposition from within his own company. Senior leaders, some of whom had been part of the company for decades, resisted his ideas for transformation. But in these moments of immense pressure, Ratan Tata did something extraordinary. He listened. He didn't fight back with anger or ego. He let his actions speak louder than words. And slowly, with patience, he began to transform Tata Group. Bold dreams and broken boundaries. Ratan Tata was not content with being just another businessman. He dreamt big, not for himself, but for India. His decisions were audacious, even reckless in the eyes of many. But to Ratan, they were calculated risks with a purpose beyond profits. One such bold decision was the acquisition of Jaguar and Land Rover in 2008. At the time, the global economy was teetering on the edge of a financial crisis. People questioned his sanity. Why would an Indian company buy two struggling British luxury car brands? Why take such a risk? Ratan Tata, however, wasn't driven by short-term gains or shareholder appeasement. He was driven by a vision, to put India on the global map, to show the world that an Indian company could stand toe-to-toe with the giants of the West. His decision wasn't about cars, it was about India's pride. The pressure was immense. His heart must have ached under the weight of skepticism, but he pressed on. Slowly, Jaguar and Land Rover turned around, becoming profitable under the Tata Group. The acquisition was not just a financial success, it was a victory of belief, of faith in one's own dreams when the world doubts you. But not all dreams are crowned with immediate success. One of Ratan Tata's most heartfelt projects, the Tata Nano, became a deeply personal mission. After witnessing families crammed dangerously onto scooters, parents balancing children on their laps as they navigated India's chaotic roads, Ratan Tata resolved to create an affordable car that every Indian family could own. He wasn't thinking about profit, he was thinking about safety, dignity, and equality. In 2008, the Tata Nano, the world's cheapest car, was launched with much fanfare. But despite his noble intent, the Nano was met with commercial failure. Many mocked it, calling it the car for the poor, missing the point entirely. It was a painful setback for Ratan, but he stood by his decision with grace and dignity. The Nano wasn't a failure in his eyes, it was a symbol of his unwavering belief that businesses should serve the people, not just the market. The heart of a leader. Compassion in crisis. Perhaps the most defining moment of Ratan Tata's leadership wasn't in a boardroom or during a corporate deal. It came during the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks when the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, owned by the Tata Group, became one of the prime targets. As the horrific events unfolded, the world watched in horror as lives were lost, and the city of Mumbai was left shaken to its core. In the aftermath, while many corporate leaders would have focused on damage control or rebuilding their brand, Ratan Tata did something extraordinary. He walked among the families of the victims, personally offering his condolences. But he didn't stop there. Under his leadership, the Tata Group took care of not just the employees who had lost their lives or been injured, but even the street vendors and bystanders who were affected by the attacks. This was not a public relations move. It was an act of genuine compassion. In the face of unspeakable tragedy, Ratan Tata showed the world what true leadership looks like. Leadership is not just about managing a company, it's about standing by people when they need you the most, regardless of who they are. Retirement. A quiet legacy that still inspires. In 2012, Ratan Tata stepped down as chairman of Tata Sons, leaving behind an empire transformed. He had taken Tata Group from a $5 billion company to a $100 billion global entity. But his legacy wasn't just about numbers. It was about the countless lives he touched, the dreams he nurtured, and the unwavering integrity with which he led. Even in retirement, Ratan Tata's work is far from over. He continues to invest in startups, mentor young entrepreneurs, and lead philanthropic efforts. His heart remains firmly rooted in serving India and its people. What makes Ratan Tata truly remarkable is that despite his immense success, he remains a humble, soft-spoken man, living in a modest apartment and driving himself to work. He has always shunned the limelight, preferring instead to let his work speak for itself. Lessons from Ratan Tata's life. Empathy is the core of leadership. Ratan Tata's life teaches us that real leaders are those who understand and care for the people they serve. Empathy is not a weakness, it is the strength that builds trust and loyalty. Courage to dream big. The acquisitions of Jaguar Land Rover and the creation of the Tata Nano were not about personal ambition, they were dreams for India. Ratan Tata reminds us that daring to dream big, even when the world doubts us, is what defines true success. Humility in greatness. Despite his towering achievements, Ratan Tata remains grounded. His humility shows us that no matter how successful we become, it is essential to stay connected to our roots and values. Compassion in adversity. The way Ratan Tata responded to the Mumbai terror attacks shows that in times of crisis, true leadership is about putting people first. Compassion, even in business, is a sign of strength. Purpose beyond profit. Ratan Tata's efforts to create businesses that serve a greater social good, like the Tata Nano, teach us that success is not measured by profits alone, but by the positive impact we have on society. Conclusion. Ratan Tata's life is not just a story of corporate triumph. It is a powerful saga of compassion, resilience, and purpose. His journey is a reminder that success is not about how much we earn or achieve, but how much we give back to the world. In a world driven by ambition and greed, Ratan Tata stands tall as a man who led with his heart, showing us that true greatness lies not in what we build, but in how we touch the lives of others.